INFJ, this isn't how others see you. This is how you see yourself, in all your quiet chaos, emotional depth, and unspoken wisdom. If you've ever felt like no one truly gets you, this video will feel like someone finally read your soul out loud. Because deep inside the INFJ mind is a world the world was never ready for. You've spent your whole life being misunderstood, labeled as too intense, too quiet, too sensitive. But what if the real story was never told? 1. You see yourself as both deep and difficult. You've known from early on that you are not an easy person, not because you're trying to be complex, but because your mind builds bridges between thoughts no one else can see, and your heart beats in rhythms that carry emotions no one else seems able, or willing, to feel. You view yourself as someone constantly balancing between contradiction and clarity, where even on your calmest days, your inner world feels like a thunderstorm you've taught yourself to dance inside of. To the world, you are gentle, composed, perceptive. But to yourself? You are intense, complicated, quietly chaotic. And you often wonder if being deep is a blessing or a burden, because it brings beauty, yes. But it also means you drown in details, overanalyze every silence, and carry emotional weight that doesn't belong to you. 2. You see yourself as a secret keeper. You see yourself as someone who holds other people's truths like sacred artifacts, carefully, reverently, and silently. You don't just listen, you absorb. You don't just hear, you hold space. And that makes you a sanctuary for those who can't find safety anywhere else. But here's the quiet ache. While you protect the secrets of others, who protects yours? You often feel like a locked journal, pages filled with unsaid truths, covered in dust because no one dares, or knows how, to open you. And deep inside, you've made peace with the idea that most people will never understand the weight you carry because they never asked what you were hiding behind your smile. 3. You see yourself as someone who feels too much. Your emotions don't come in drops. They arrive in waves, often uninvited, often misunderstood, and always too much for the shallow world around you. You view yourself as someone made of softness in a world that rewards steel. So you've learned to mask your sensitivity with logic, your empathy with silence, and your depth with distance. But the truth is, you feel everything. Even the things that aren't said. Even the things that never happened. Even the emotions of those who walk past you for half a second in a crowded room. You feel until it hurts. And then you smile like nothing touched you. 4. You see yourself as a guiding ghost. You don't crave the spotlight. You don't want the loud applause. You want meaning. You want connection. You want to change someone's life quietly, without needing them to say thank you. You see yourself as a presence that walks beside others invisibly, nudging them toward growth, understanding, and truth. You're the kind of person who leaves people better than you found them, even when they don't remember your name. Even when they walk away without looking back. Because it was never about being remembered. It was about remembering them when no one else did. 5. You see yourself as a puzzle with missing pieces. You often feel like you were born with pieces that don't quite fit the world around you. Like there's a blueprint inside your soul that doesn't match the architecture of society, of friendships, of love. You see yourself as someone who is always adapting, adjusting your energy, softening your truth, editing your essence, so that others won't feel uncomfortable around your depth. But in the quiet of your mind, when no one's watching, you mourn the pieces of yourself you've had to hide. And sometimes, you wonder if anyone will ever love you without asking you to shrink. 6. You see yourself as a visionary in a world obsessed with the present. You are a future dweller. A pattern seer. A soul with prophetic instincts that most people mistake for imagination or overthinking. You see yourself as someone who lives 10 steps ahead, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. You see potential where others see nothing. You see endings before things begin. You sense betrayal before trust is even broken. And that makes you lonely, doesn't it? Because while others dance in the now, you're already navigating the aftermath of what hasn't happened yet. 7. You see yourself as a healer who can't heal themselves. You are the friend who gives the best advice. The partner who always knows what's wrong. The stranger who somehow says the exact words someone needed to hear. You see yourself as someone who walks through people's pain with a lantern in your hand, lighting the path for others while wandering in darkness yourself. Because the truth is, you can feel everyone else's emotions, but when it comes to your own, you don't know where to begin. You help others rebuild while quietly crumbling inside. You save others from drowning while pretending you know how to swim. 8. You see yourself as an old soul who is always waiting. You carry the weight of generations in your heart. You speak like someone who's lived 1,000 lives. You love like someone who's written poetry in another lifetime. And yet, you often feel like you're waiting for something, or someone, that hasn't arrived. You see yourself as someone walking through this life with ancient eyes, quietly wondering, where are the others like me? Where are the ones who don't just talk, but feel? Not just think, but know? Not just touch, but see? You aren't lost. You're just rare. And the rare ones always feel like they're waiting for the others to find them. 9. You see yourself as a lover of the unseen. While others chase status, noise, or attention, you fall in love with things others miss. The way someone's eyes drop when they're hiding something. The softness in a stranger's laugh. The ache in someone's silence. You see yourself as someone addicted to meaning. Someone who doesn't care about perfection, but authenticity. You see beauty in scars. Hope in chaos. Truth in contradiction. And you often feel like the world is too loud for your quiet love. But INFJ, your love? It's the kind that rewrites people's lives. Even if they never tell you. 10. You see yourself as a loner who longs to belong. You're someone who can disappear for days, and no one notices. You're someone who knows how to be alone without feeling lonely, but deep down, you ache for a tribe that doesn't just tolerate you, but gets you. You see yourself as someone who never quite fits. Too emotional for the intellectuals. Too logical for the dreamers. Too deep for the casual. Too sensitive for the harsh. Too real for the fake. And so you exist on the edges, always close, never quite inside. Always connected, never fully seen. 11. You see yourself as a shapeshifter who forgot their original form. You're a master of adapting. You read rooms like novels. You become what's needed. You shift your energy so others feel safe. But in doing so, you've sometimes forgotten what your own soul sounds like. You see yourself as someone who gives so much that there's not always enough left for you. And sometimes, you wonder what your purest self looks like, before the edits, the masks, the emotional labor. You wonder what it would feel like to just be, and be loved as you are. 12. You see yourself as a warrior in disguise. Don't let the softness fool anyone. You've walked through fire. You've healed from wounds no one even knew existed. You've faced betrayals, disappointments, heartbreaks, and still chose love, still chose empathy, still chose growth. You see yourself as someone who doesn't scream their strength, but lives it. You're the kind of person who breaks, quietly, heals, silently, and rises, without making a sound. But your silence? It is power. Your gentleness? It is strength. Your heart? It is unshakable. 13. You see yourself as a mystery even you can't fully solve. There are parts of you that even you don't understand. Moods that arrive without warning. Emotions that don't belong to you. Thoughts that stretch into dimensions you can't explain. You see yourself as a mystery wrapped in intuition, cloaked in paradox, held together by imagination and insight. And while others crave labels, categories, and boxes, you've realized that you are not meant to be understood in the traditional sense. You are meant to be felt. And that's what makes you unforgettable. So INFJ, when you ask how you view yourself, it's not a simple answer. Because you don't see yourself through one lens. You see yourself as a tapestry of opposites. A soul with edges softened by time. A storm wrapped in stillness. A universe contained in one human heart. You see yourself not as someone who needs to be everything for everyone, but as someone who is finally learning to be everything to yourself. And maybe, just maybe, this time, when you look in the mirror, you'll finally see someone who's not too much. Not too deep. Not too different. Just you. And that is more than enough.